Hello to everyone and welcome to the 16th info session on education and training in the space sector. The topic today is also quite new for me. We will explore together the role of space observatories in education and training in the space sector. What is a space observatory? We have space and ground observatories. What are the fundings for this? What are their activities? And what is the connection with the regional stakeholder, of course? NEREUS, for those who are not aware, it's a European association. Please mute yourselves, otherwise I have to do it. It's a European association of regions. We explore and promote the benefits of space technologies for the citizens and the regions, but we also represent the interests of regions at the European level. In my communication to you, I have integrated all the necessary links if you want to learn more about NEREUS. 2/3 of our members are universities and research centers. Therefore, we pay particular attention in education and training, especially in those times. And this is why this webinar series exists. So I won't use much more of the time given because we have a very rich agenda. We have many speakers. And first and foremost, I would like to mobilize a discussion between them and you, the audience. So firstly, I have the pleasure to introduce to you, and you can open the camera, Gregor, Professor Gregor Kopetsky. He is the Associate Professor of the Department of Avionics and Control Systems at Rzeszów University of Technology. Dzień dobry. The Rzeszów University of Technology is a new member of NEREUS. We are very proud to have it in our members list. And today, Gregor will present to us the activities of the university, his work, and also how his work is associated with the space observatories. Please, Gregor, the floor is yours for the next 10 minutes maximum.
Okay, thank you very much. Just information where Rzeszów is southeast Poland, and it's capital of the Podkarpackie province. And one short information that if we take the number of students in Rzeszów and divide by a number of citizens of Rzeszów, in this factor, we are first in Europe, so we are very student city. University in the past. Our history began in 1951 when a night school of engineers appeared in Poland, in Rzeszów, and since 1974 we are Rzeszów University of Technology. Here you can see university in numbers. We have over 11,500 students and about 1,600 employees. Our faculties: Faculty of Civil and Environmental Engineering and Architecture, Faculty of Mechanical Engineering and Aeronautics, that's my faculty, Faculty of Chemistry, Faculty of Electrical and Computer Engineering, Faculty of Mathematics and Applied Physics, Faculty of Mechanics and Technology, and Faculty of Management. What distinguishes us among other Polish universities is Aviation Training Center and Specialization. We called pilotage. It's possible for group of students. It's a possibility to obtain during regular engineering courses for Master of Engineering, ATPL license, which is license enabling job as a airline pilot. So we have very good aviation training center, several aircraft, and also it's a possibility for realization research and in-flight testing. We have also in the university gliding training center. It's placed in mountains in Bezmichowa. It's about 100 kilometers from Rzeszów, and it's a really magic place, place where
sorry, Gregor, sorry
yeah.
to interrupt you. We don't see that. Have you changed the slide? Because we see the first
Yes,
slide.
yes,
No,
I'm changing slides.
no, we only see the first one. Now we see
Okay.
the eighth one. Yeah, please pay attention. Yes, okay.
Okay, the eighth slide. So the eighth, yeah. So it's okay. So it's great. I can see them. So now you can see a slide
The
with
eighth.
gliding center. Eight
Yes, yes.
with
But
gliding
before we
center.
haven't seen anything. Before we haven't seen anything. So
No.
no, we just saw the first slide. But I will
Okay.
share with the audience your presentation afterwards, and they can
Okay.
study the previous slides.
Perfect. Okay. So maybe I will switch off full screen mode. So maybe it will be seen something. Now is it seen gliding center without full? What do you see now? What can you see now?
The same. It's the same. But I can see the slide, but it's not in full mode to my
Okay.
end.
Okay. And now you will see slide number 9.
Yes.
Okay, so I will show in that way. This is gliding center. Several world records were made were settled in this place, and it's also used for research. And I will talk about this place in a different area in a moment. And in our region, there's association called Aviation Valley, and we are also associated in Aviation Valley as a university. And this is university, and this is association of industry focused on aviation, because our region is traditionally connected with aviation. That's why university also is strongly focused on aviation, on research in the area of aviation. And I will just present two faculties, two departments, sorry, Department of Avionics and Control System, which is my department. And in this department, we did the first in Poland digital autopilot, the first control system for unmanned aircraft vehicle. It was also ours, and probably the first in the world general aviation fly-by-wire control system. Fly-by-wire control system for this class of aircraft. For general aviation aircraft, we prototyped and made in-flight tests, probably first in the world. And we are focused on different kind of control and measurement systems. There are UAV systems, but we have also our own aircraft for realization of in-flight testing, experimental aircraft, you can see on a slide. And our designs, our solutions are acknowledged, and we also cooperating with Podkarpackie Marshal's office, and from time to time we are representing them in the area of technology and education. The second department is Department of Aerospace Engineering, and my colleagues are mostly focused on the problems of mechanical engineering in aviation, in strength of materials, aircraft structures, aerodynamics. They have wind tunnel where testing of several solutions are possible. They are focused also on propulsion systems and unmanned aerial systems, I mean structures mostly, and hybrid propulsion in aviation. And topic of the seminar today is space observatories. We, in this manner, we as a university, we are cooperating, we have cooperation with POLSA, Polish Space Agency. Of course, we have several other research in different areas like robotics, cybersecurity, RFID sensors, and image processing, but there is no time for focusing in several matters. So let's focus on this topic, space safety. If we take into consideration number of objects around the Earth, it's really growing. Here is chart, and if you focus on blue line, you will see a specific point in a year 2020 when trend changed, and there are really many new objects on orbit. It is directly connected with appearance of star rings. We have all tracked objects over 45,000. Tracked and identified objects are 29,000, but very small objects, taking into consideration very small object, we are all over 100 million objects around the Earth. So there are many of them. And what is danger? The first danger, I would say, is the most important, is collisions with satellites and space stations. It is very serious dangers, and we have to take it into consideration. And the second the second problem is falling debris. And just few days ago, this is screenshot from Polskie Radio, Polish Radio news. Just few days ago, SpaceX Falcon 9 debris was found in 4 locations across Poland. And look on the slide how large object it was, how big unit it was. So observation of such elements is very important. And responsible for that in Poland is POLSA, but we are cooperating with them. And at the Academic Gliding Center of Rzeszów University of Technology is sensor for observation of this debris. And this is element of this is part of larger system, and it is optical fence system made by Cilium Engineering company, and it enables detecting the positions with the use of optical triangulation method, and objects in space LEO and HLEO orbits are observed, and the data is obtained through simultaneous observation from multiple locations. And there are 3 sets of such sensors. The first is European, and we have one of them in our gliding center in Bezmiechowa. We are in gliding center in Bezmiechowa. First, because two reasons. Because it belongs to university, and the second most important reason is on a place where there is no light on the ground. So it can be it's really dark during night, and this debris can be optically observed with very good quality. And there are three sets of such sensors. The first in Europe, in Australia, and in Africa. And just I am going to finish. The observatory is element of larger system. It increases the level of space security. It enables research in the area of space observation, and also it can be used for education because the data can be used by students. Thank you very much for
Thank you, Gregor.
attention.
Thank you, Gregor. Thank you for this great presentation. Just to share with the audience that I have visited Rzeszów and also the public administration in Podkarpacie 1.5 years ago, I think, and they really wanted to enhance universities in the region. And I am really amazed by how fast they do it. And your university is an example of this. They are so committed. The region is so committed. I'm really impressed also from by the work of the university. I have a few questions for you, Gregor. Please, the audience can share the questions in the chat. I would like to ask you how the region enhances the role of universities, like such as your university. Do they follow a specific strategy? Is there a specific education training strategy that your university follows based on the recommendations of the region?
We are cooperating, and the university is supported by Marshal's office, mostly by scholarships for students. So this is the major impact, I think. There are also some elements of cooperation with administration in a different manner. I would like to focus on a program, European. It is a European project, Space for Talents, realized by one of towns in our region. This is Stalowa Wola. This is a very interesting project in a space area because we are focused on space today. Why? This cities like Stalowa Wola, like other cities, are small, and the problem of these cities is that young people are living this city, and these cities are becoming it becomes
Having less young people.
Yeah, exactly.
Less workforce.
Exactly. And the Stalowa Wola, they found that space technologies is a chance for them, and they are going to create in habitat for space industry, for startups, friendly for space industry and for startups, to create new workplaces, to create new technological area in this manner, and we are collaborating with them. We are going to prepare series of short courses for different groups of students. Let's call it. The first group are students of secondary schools. The second group is students of universities. And the third group are professionals. This is good example of cooperation in that area. What is more, they are going to create something which is called Space Lab with equipment which is useful and necessary for especially startup realizing projects for the space industry. So this is very good example of cooperation between
Indeed.
town and university.
No, this is quite interesting. And one last question following your presentation. Regarding the space of observatories, do you see there is a high interest from students to work for space observatories? Is this a topic that excites them?
This is something new. This observatory was just opened few months ago. In general, students are interested. There's a possibility also training of there's also possibility some discussions are about for example training periods in Polsa, Polish Space Agency, and yeah, some students are interested. We don't have regular courses, I mean specialization focused directly on space. We have specializations, aviation specialization, in which, of course, space topics are appearing in several manners, and in several other specializations are topics directly connected with space. So we have to take it also into consideration, but I think students are interested in this topic.
You had also a very nice, interesting slide about space debris. I was shocked, not that I'm not aware of this kind of activities from this particular company, but it's something that I would like to come back to you at the end of the presentation of the other speakers. Thank you so much, Gregor, for this great presentation. You do remarkable things at your university for the benefit of your students and to be more creative also in the space sector. Okay, I would like now to welcome the next speaker, Antonio Cabrera Lavers. He is the head of science operation of the Gran Telescopio Canarias. Antonio, thank you very much for joining our webinars. Just to inform the audience that the Gran Canaria, it's a new member of NEREUS. And Gran Telescopio Canarias, it's one of the places in my list I want to visit. It's a wonderful place and a very beautiful observatory. Antonio, today you are the main representative actually of someone who works with observatories. So we rely on you to present us your work and how the observatories are linked with education and training activities. Please, the floor is yours for the next 10 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much for inviting me to this talk. Can you see the slide?
Yes. It's in
now it changed?
Yes, it changed. It's perfect.
Okay, so first of all, I have to introduce the telescope as this meeting is more focused on space observatories, but also it's good to include the ground-based observatories in the topic of the education and training processes. Are different, but I think is important to also know how we deal with these kind of things at the GTC. GTC is currently the largest optical telescope in the world. It's located in the island of La Palma in the Canary Islands, near Africa. Here, it's Spanish territory, but very near from the continent of Africa. It's one of the best or most suitable places for the astronomy in the world. You can see in the small plot behind in the upper right part of the slide how we have here in Canary Islands a specific law for protect the sky brightness, the sky contamination, so you cannot see La Palma. La Palma is on the north west side of Tenerife. That is the center, the two major islands in the center. So La Palma is invisible from the space because we have a very restricted controlled emission lights, pollution due to the placement of the observatories. So we have more than 25 installations here, 25 telescopes at the Observatorio Roque Los Muchachos and another facilities at the Observatorio Teide in Tenerife. So Canary Islands is one of the top level observatories in the world. The telescope is a segmented mirror telescope. It's composed by 36 segments in order to build such a huge mirror. The total area is approximately 10.4 meters, corresponds to a 10.4 meter telescope. So for this reason, it's the largest optical and near infrared telescope in the world. It has been for years until the arrival of the new ELT at Chile in the coming years. But nowadays, we have a powerful machine for doing science. But the company that manage the use of the GTC is called Grantecan. It's different to the GTC. Grantecan is the company that builds, operates, and upgrades the GTC. And the telescope of this telescope is participated mostly for Spanish community, 90%, but also a few amount from Mexico and University of Florida. So it's a partnership between these three major partners, but mostly it's a Spanish institution. And the company is relatively small for a large telescope. We are about 80 people working at GTC here in La Palma, as some of them, and Tenerife. And I want to focus related with the educational and training process that there is a high variety of profiles that works in a telescope, in a ground-based telescope, where the astronomers are a few percent of the total. You can see here the organigram of the telescope of the Grantecan company with 4 major departments. I'm the head of the science operations department with 10 astronomers, while the rest of the company is most composed by engineer and technical profiles. So this is important when promoting the educational ways to become a part of a worker in a telescope, that not the astronomy is the only way to get a position in a telescope. In fact, it's the less favorable way to get to work in a telescope. Related with education, we are in a very small island. La Palma has about 80,000 people living, and one of the major commitments for the GTC telescope is to show to all the community, the local community, the big opportunities for occupational issues we have with the observatory. Currently, we have more than 12,000 visitors per year. We are not dealing with the visitors. There are specific external guides that attend the visitors to come to the telescope. It's about 60 people per day in some days of the week. But in order to enhance the possibilities to the local community, we have been developing a project for more than 15 years that is called Nuestros Alumnos y el Roque, so or Students and the Observatory is a translation, that make that all the students 14, 15 years old, when they are finishing the secondary degree at the high school, visit the observatory. all of them, every year. So they have the opportunity to see how the observatory works, how the telescope works, and to know how they can be part of the observatory, which kind of studies they have to do to become part of the observatory staff. And also we have started last year a pilot program to include younger students in the project, about 12 years old, because we have seen that the scientific interest starts a little bit earlier in the young people. So we are starting with this, but there's a lot of more students here. Some pictures of the different activities at the telescope visits. We have interactive programs to play during the visit with the students and attending the visit to the telescope. We attend the visits by all the observatory staff. We are about 20 astronomers for all the telescopes that participates in the program, and it has been very successful for years. We have the collaboration of the local government in La Palma that provides all the transportation to the schools, to the observatory, and while we participate by showing how the telescope works and etc. But also more focus in the laboral occupational profiles. GTC, the Gran Tecan, started a new program in the last 7-8 years to form present university graduates that are born in La Palma, young people in La Palma for high technology profiles that are unemployed. So with funds of the local government in La Palma, in the Cabildo of La Palma, that is the local government of the island, we hire about 2-3 people every year with this program. The idea is to train in all related with the telescope work, not only astronomy, of course, but also in other areas. And currently, I have to be honest and say that this had great success, because about 18 of 22 people that had been in the program in the last years are now working as a permanent staff in some facilities of the observatory. You can see here the plot. Most of them at the GTC as permanent staff, but also in other telescope of the observatory and also at the Instituto Astrofísica Canarias in Tenerife. And the profiles are very wide. We have from astronomers that are now support astronomers and even doing a PhD in Tenerife, or technicals, engineers, software engineers, that is a very demanded profile in the observatory, etc. So I think this has been a very good way to include the local people in the promotion to observe with the at the GTC as a permanent staff. And that was all I have to talk about the how we are dealing with this kind of things, the training and the formation process here locally in La Palma with the GTC.
Antonio, thank you so much for this incredible presentation. Very enriching and insightful. To the audience now, I haven't seen any questions in the chat. Please use this opportunity, because we have amazing experts, and post your questions. So from my side, I would like to highlight the fact that not just astronomers and astrophysics can work there. This is quite important. If you want to share more comments about this, I find it extremely useful.
Yes, when we started this program with the young people here in La Palma, we found that the idea was completely wrong in that sense, because they thought, the students thought that they have to study physics, doing the PhD in astrophysics in order to get a position at the observatory. And they claim, oh, it's very difficult, it's hard, you have to study a lot. When it's not true, because electronical technicians, electronical engineers, software engineers, mechanical engineers, IT, and the telescope at the end is a software machine. It's a software machine that has to work. So, and it's a lot of small pieces that have to work synchronized. So it's more an engineer work than an astronomical work. So they know that even you don't have to go to the university to work on observatory. You have a lot of ways of formation that allows you to get a position at an observatory. And that's the FEDECAM program has been successful in that sense, because I think from 24 people, only 2 were astronomers. But the rest were technician. It's not. And they are working. They are permanent staff, very well, and local staff. So also we have broken the idea, the local idea here in La Palma, that only foreign people works at the observatory. It was an old-fashioned but well-established idea here in La Palma that the observatory was for foreigners that put their telescope there and works at the telescope. But now, for example, GTC, 80% of the people is local from La Palma working here. High qualified people and local people.
Excellent, excellent. So you find opportunities also from to benefit the local and regional level there, with the support, of course, of your government. I wanted, and in addition to this, to complement what you said, Antonio, at NEREUS, we also promote since the beginning that space sector is an interdisciplinary sector, and not just space people work there, not just space engineers or astronauts. Really, everybody, almost everyone from all fields can contribute, can work for the space sector. Can use space data as well, especially when we talk about Earth observation, it's much more interdisciplinary. Okay, another question. Could you please explain what is the difference between a space and a ground observatory?
What
is a space observatory? Because I have an example in my mind, but yes, you let me know what is the difference between these two.
The major and big difference is the atmosphere. The ground observatory has to deal with the atmosphere, so we have to deal with weather conditions. So we have to deal with unexpected events of rain, snow. The observatories in ground observatories are located in places where for years we measure that the conditions are the ideal for observing. So it's not the idea of having an observatory in a mountain has not been so established from the very beginning. At the beginning, all the observatories local ground observatories were placed near the universities, the Observatoire of Paris, London, etc., Cambridge, not in a mountain. This was later when they realized that it's good to go to a higher mountain, well above the clouds, well up with a good atmosphere. So Canary Islands, Hawaii, Chile are the major observatories now in the world. But you cannot compete even in the best sites of the world. You cannot compete with a space telescope. A space telescope has no weather issues.
The Hubble telescope is, you can call
Hubble
it a space.
Is a space telescope. Also, the James Webb telescope.
James Webb, yes.
Also, so there is a lot of different space.
And how your work differs? I mean, the people that they work for a space observatory, do they work differently for a ground observatory?
The only difference, because the profiles are very similar, you have a control room, a programmed observations of the telescope, but there is only one kind of profiles that are not in common. That is the maintenance. There are no maintenance staff for a space telescope. You don't have to keep the space. You can do it. Hubble has glasses because the astronauts go to the Hubble at the very beginning and correct the focus of the telescope. But for example, James Webb is you cannot access to the James Webb telescope. It's very far, or Gaia telescope.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but in the local, in the ground-based observatories, the maintenance group, the technicians for the maintenance of the telescope, is a very important part of the facility. You have
Okay,
to
so
keep the
young
telescope
people,
operating.
so young people, when they educate themselves, the expertise might differ. They have to adapt in the
Yes,
environment.
but as you mentioned, IT profiles,
Yeah, yeah.
engineer profiles are the same. Are the same. The telescope. In fact, I can use my telescope from my home, from
Yeah,
home,
yeah.
as a space telescope. You open your computer, you connect to the telescope, point the telescope, observe. The only difference is someone has to be at the ground-based telescope to check there are no rain, clouds, etc. In a space telescope, this not happen. You can observe all the days at any hour.
And the last question from my side: how the work of your observatory can be integrated in the programs at the European level? How do you collaborate with the European level? Are there any opportunities there are there any projects that you can seek for funding?
Yes, in fact, when I mentioned here, I mentioned in my presentation that the local government of La Palma provide funds
Yes,
for
this
this.
is clear. This is clear.
Yes, but for other issues more related with instrumentation at the telescope, staff, some specific staff, the local government in Canary Islands use European funds for these kind of things. So this comes directly from Europe. So
Okay.
the Canadian government only transfer this fund. It's pure
Understood.
European. I don't know how we call FEDER, European
Federal
Regional
funds.
Development. Yes, the development funds for
Yes,
European
yes,
region.
yes.
RDF,
RDF,
this
something like that.
RDFF.
RDF, yes. No,
There's
these
a
are
question.
funds used by our regions, yes.
A question at the chat in Arabia. We had
So I will go to the question in the chat. First, stay with us, Antonio. I would like to give the floor to a PhD candidate who works for the observatories, and then we will have the first break in the discussion, and I will ask the questions to the first panel. Thank you, Antonio, for this great presentation and your insights. So next, I would like to welcome Elena Tonuzzi. She's a PhD candidate at the Leiden Observatory in the Netherlands. She works on the development of astronomical instrumentation for direct imaging of exoplanets. Wow. Specifically, coronagraphs with integrated wavefront sensing. Here you lost me a bit. What is very interesting is that Elena travels to Chile, as Antonio mentioned before, once or twice per year to the Magellan telescopes to perform sky testing of the optical components. So please, Elena, explain to us what you're doing and why do you think that a career related to space observatories, space ground observatories, it's promising?
Yes, thank you so much. Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for the invite. As you mentioned, I'm a PhD student in Leiden, and I go to Chile every now and then to test my components. So basically, I want to first say that, as Antonio was mentioning, it's not the observatory is a place where not only astronomers and astrophysicists are. I myself, I actually don't have a background in astronomy, but I studied aerospace engineering first, and now I'm a PhD in astronomy, but it's really related to instrumentation, right? So I'm developing new instrumentation for ground-based telescopes. And I've been to Chile for the first time in November, and I'm going again in April. because I've been lucky in a way, or I don't know if it was just good timing. I found a really great supervisor who loves to go and observe, and is working with the University of Arizona to develop this adaptive optics instrument that is called MEGIO-X, Extreme Adaptive Optics Instrument. Because as Antonio mentioned, from the ground, the atmosphere is a big enemy that we have to observe. So adaptive optics helps us to basically counteract the effect of the atmosphere. So we get, again, nice observations, and it's very difficult to do, but well, we're managing. And what I do specifically is that I'm developing this new instrumentation specifically to work at exoplanets. There are planets that orbit other stars, not in our own solar system. And I'm loving it as of now. I think it's a really cool experience to go and work in these observatories. The people are amazing, and you learn way more hands-on going there, and just being at the telescope and doing your observations rather than just reading stuff in a book, or which is clearly also great, but I really like the hands-on experience. So I think here I can be a bit the bridge between the students and the
academia
job market,
yeah,
right? Because I'm a bit in between, like I'm working, but I'm still a student in a way. I'm still learning a lot. So I would definitely say there are a lot of ways to get there, and if you're really interested in it, try to find internships first, PhDs opportunities. There are a lot of ways to be involved with observatories in Europe and also, in Chile, with ISO and similar. So yeah. I don't know if you want to know something more specific.
No, thank you. It was great. It was really great. Apologies if my connection is not that good.
Don't worry.
I would like to bring into the discussion Antonio and Gregor as well, and you, Elena, stay with us. I've heard from all of you the importance of these optical components. I know it's a very technical question, but why for you this matters, and how does it translate to knowledge and expertise in the sector?
Well, in a telescope, the optics is basic for us. In fact, here in Canary Islands, when you start to build a telescope or any instrument, the optical parts are the most critical in the design and also in the production of the instrument. And for this reason, for example, here in Canary Islands, we have observatory is in La Palma, but the major center, the Instituto Astrofísica Canarias, is in Tenerife. It's about 450 people working there. It's a huge institution. It's the major institution of astronomy in Spain. They have started in the last 2 years the development of an optical laboratory, because we want, once with all the lessons learned in the last 20 years here in the Canary Island, dealing with optical components coming from abroad, to build by ourselves all these components. And it has been, they are started, but the idea is
there
that
there is a big need for experts on that, right?
Yes,
Huge need. So
yes.
for young
I really need it.
join now, you can listen what these people need.
Yes, it's very, very important.
Okay. Another very important concern from my side, Gregor, you may open your camera because we want you in the discussion. You had a slide on space debris that impacted your work, and most importantly, caused fear to local infrastructure and also for human lives. I will not here. We don't. Let's say we don't have to say names and so on, but we know who is the biggest provider on satellites at the global level. My question for you is regarding the challenges and how does this impact your work? I know, Antonio, that there have been many. The Astronomical Association has noted that they have difficulties in observing the universe. That there is a space pollution, a significant increase in space pollution. And I would like your feedback from all of you, from Elena, Gregor, and Antonio. How, in your opinion, how this challenge should be tackled at the technical level, but also at the social level? You may take the floor. Maybe Gregor, take first the floor because you had this slide, this interesting slide on space debris.
Yes, well, it's hard to say for me because I'm, as you know, aviation engineer specialized in avionics. But as far as what do I know? The problem, this is no very dangerous that this debris will come back to the Earth and will be threat for people, for habitants. This is no big affair. But the problem is that with, for example, for space shuttles, if we go to the space, it is higher and higher danger that some debris might destroy space shuttle. So this is a very serious problem, and sometimes we are joking that in a few years the first shuttle will make space for the second one, which will go above it. Of course, that's a joke only, but it is a serious problem, and I think it is necessary regulation that every new satellite should have system which will make possible the satellite to come back to the atmosphere and burn in the atmosphere, not to stay in the space, because we cannot afford for such large debris. This is I think very important. The next problem, I think the next challenge is that, of course, there are space observations which and space debris are observed, but the trajectory, it is not that we know a very exact observatory trajectory. Why? Because we are observing space debris in the angular position, and if the distance is large, then the exactness of exact placement, it's very inexact. So we can say about probability of crash with another object, and this is next challenge we should take into consideration. But the problem is that every new satellite should have system of self-destroying. This is, in my opinion, what should be.
Thank you, Gregor. No, you are more than qualified to answer this question, and thank you very much for this feedback. Also, it covered many some context from the technical part. Antonio, please. I'm interested to see how you could tackle this challenge also at the social and policy level, because this goes further away than the technical aspect.
Yeah. Yes, Gregor has mentioned that in a technical way, in a technical approach, for the debris, the need of self-destroy can be a solution, but
Mhm.
from the point of view of the telescope, is more important, or even from my point of view, even more important, the number of
Mhm.
satellites.
Mhm.
The current constellation of satellites that are
Thousands.
all around, thousands per year. We are talking about 200,000 in less than 10 years to be around the Earth. And how this affects to the observations, not only the observations in a telescope, the social way that you are dark in the night, you have to a pretty view of the sky, and
Light
it's,
pollution, right?
it's impossible now to stare for 10 minutes and not seeing a satellite crossing
Yeah.
anywhere in the world. So there are a big telescope that will be affected for sure. For example, the Vera Rubin telescope has simulated that 2-3% of the data will have a satellite stripe in the images. So they have to deal with that in the reduction of the data. For us, it's also important, but I think is well above even. It has to be considered as a global decision on terms of we want to protect the skies up to a certain level, not only for the astronomy as a work
Mhm.
for us as professionals in astronomy, but also for the community. And of course, there are technical solutions that can be implemented, for example, to paint dark the component of the satellite to become less reflective, etc., etc. As I mentioned, Gregor, to destroy them after for example, it's supposed that all the new Starlink satellites will have this facility to be destroyed once they finish.
Mhm.
But there are so many, and it's an open field that has no any restrictions at all.
At the
That we
regulatory
have
level,
to,
you mean?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I know the IIU is working. It's working since some years in producing a claim to the United Nations in order to prevent or to protect the sky pollution from this kind of
They have
facility.
UN
But
also
it's
has
still working.
UN also has developed the sustainable guidelines. The question is always who listens.
Okay, who listen? Because at the end, everybody wants to have the fast internet connection as possible. So at the end, they want the satellites. Everybody wants to have as much satellites as possible.
And the first ones who are affected, I believe, are the observatories and the work of astronomers.
Yes.
Elena, did you have an experience with a satellite causing issues, space debris, or satellites causing you issues to your work?
So personally, fortunately, I haven't. And for the application that I work on, so we need a very narrow field of view. So actually, we observe also when there is the full moon out, and we don't really care about pollution in that sense, like light and stuff like that. So for us, it doesn't really make a difference, fortunately. But I can see how it can be a big problem.
Or if your colleagues, or your superiors, if they have faced this challenge, if it's something that you discuss in your cycles, because I am more for policy, but I'm not into the technical community. Although we cooperate and we invite them in the conference webinars, but you internally, is there a challenge that you discuss often?
So right now, regarding like observations, it never actually happened to me that we have discussed this problem. But clearly, I studied in my master aerospace engineering, and there we had a lot of discussions about this problem, because it's clearly like a big problem, because we have so many debris around, and we, as we were mentioning, not even know very well their trajectories and everything. And so I know, for example, that a very good friend of mine, actually founded a startup to do consultancy with people who want to send satellites to do the end of life analysis as well, to see what they're going to do when these satellites are not active anymore. And yeah, because they cannot just stay there, they should be in some way.
Isa is doing a great job as well for
and
this.
Ida is doing as well a very great job, yes. And I know also that there are a lot of studies and projects to do collision avoidance of this debris as well, because you basically don't even know if something's gonna hit your satellite,
your head,
right? At some point, if this is not regulated, it will be very difficult to even send anything in space anymore. So it's clearly in our interest, in the interest of everyone, to solve this problem and get rid of the things that are already not even working anymore, maybe. And the new things that are sent need to be clearly taken care of when they're at the end of their lives. So it's a very big problem indeed. Yes.
I have a question because you mentioned aerospace community before, Elena. I have a question to you, Gregor and Antonio. Gregor, you can stay with open camera. We are in the discussion. So Elena is part of Euravia. Euravia is an aerospace student association. And we have, as NEREUS, a memorandum of understanding with Euravia, and we often invite them on our webinars. We give priority to the voice of the students. And there we have a comment from the director of Euravia, Elia Giselini. He says that in Euravia, we have tried to approach younger generations, high school and below, to share the passion and opportunities in aerospace, but we are encountering difficulties. Do you believe this can be done only at local level, or there can be an international approach to address younger generations, or only locally it's more efficient? This would lead to a loss of alignment though. Do you have any comment for Elia?
Personally speaking, if in the case of GTC or the ground observatory, the ground observatory is a well settled installation or facility in a specific space location here in La Palma or whatever is located the telescope. So we have focused more locally because the observatory in Canary Island, for example, in La Palma, is 3% of the local PIB of the total amount. Is a very high productive in terms of people working here. We are more than 400 people living in La Palma that works related to the observatory. So for the local point of view, it's very important, or we focus in the working opportunities of the observatory. But related with the interest in astronomy, for example, that is more related with the aerospace side of the problem, we work in a more global way. For example, there are ISC in Tenerife and other institutions are working, but in a European level to look for these kind of vocations in astronomy, etc. I presented what I mean that is more working opportunities of the observatory. There are not so many astronomers, but in any case, for example, we have now a support astronomer for the GTC that was first a student that participated in the visit when he was 14 years old. He know the telescope. He wanted to become astronomer. He then entered in the formation program, worked for a year with us, and then we got a permanent position. And now he's moving to the telescope in a couple of hours because he's starting his shift tonight. So he's the full process. He from the high school to a permanent position at the observatory because he is astronomer. He wants to be an astronomer.
This is a best practice, what you mentioned, Antonio. Gregor, any feedback from your side to Elia's comment?
Yes. we were wondering also we are asking ourselves similarly in the university what to do to promote aviation knowledge and in general technical knowledge among people, among students of secondary schools. So this is very similar question, I think. And what is my personal point of view? That why am I aviation engineer? I am an aviation engineer because as a young boy, I was doing small flying aircraft, and I found it as a very good play. And if we do both on local level and on European, maybe even level, national level, and European level. For example, competition in the area of space, of different areas of technology connected with space. That for different age groups of students. I think it will be an impulse for finding it is interesting, it's funny, and in my opinion, this is the first step. Competitions, showing possibilities, giving some I don't know toys, initiative, motivation for it's not the problem of price, because these toys it's not necessary to be very expensive, but showing that we need to have more imaginary, more initiative to do something. In my opinion, this is the way of promotion of this knowledge among young people.
Thank you, Gregor and Antonio. I hope, Elia, you are covered. I would like to move to the next two speakers, but stay with me and open your cameras, Gregor and Antonio and Elena. You mentioned before, Gregor, the importance of space competitions. And actually, you give me a good link for the next speaker, because I would like to introduce to you Alice Pellegrino. Maybe, Alice, you can open the camera. Alice today represents the Space Generation Council, and she will explain what is this Benelux Space Startup Competition. Maybe you can, Alice, you can introduce yourself and you can share the presentation.
Absolutely. 1 second.
And just for the audience to mention, it's the first time I have a representative from the Space Generation Council. Maybe you can also briefly explain what is your mission?
Absolutely. So good afternoon, everyone. Already past midday.
For the next 4 minutes, because we don't have
yes, I will try to keep it brief.
Yes.
Just let me know, maybe notify to me when it's like
no worries.
Close to the end. Okay. So I'm Alice Pellegrino. I'm currently based in Belgium, but originally I'm Italian. As a background, I'm an aerospace engineer specialized in remote sensing, but it's now 3 years that I moved into project management. And in particular, I work for Redwire Space in Belgium as a project manager on the international berthing and docking mechanism for the development of our avionics system. But since when I was a student at Sapienza, University of Rome, I've been involved with a lot of students' associations. And in particular with SGSE, I remained involved in many activities. And when they try to start organizing the event that I'm going to introduce you, then I submitted my application for becoming one of the co-deputy event manager, and that's where, let's say, everything came together. So Right now, I'm speaking on behalf of the organizing committee for this event. It's the first Space Benelux competition that we organize here in the region, so involving sponsors and partners from, let's say, mostly the Benelux region, but we have also sponsors and partners that come from Italy and other European countries. And we want today to officially confirm the venue of the event that will be in Rotterdam, and the event will be held on the 1st and 2nd of May. Just give me 1 second to try to, okay, perfect. So following Margarita recommendation, just a couple of words about the association. You might have heard of it. It's quite known worldwide and spread, and it involves aerospace enthusiasts from students to young professionals in a range that goes from 18 years old to 35. And right now we spread all over the world up to 170 countries and 2017 members. So quite a big representation of the aerospace community. And on top of the activities that goes up to young professionals, we also have an alumni committee that continue to support all the main association events. We have different types of events. In this particular case, then this is something that came from the heritage of an event that has been organized for 5 years in Italy, this space startup competition, and we wanted to test it and bring it also in other areas of Europe. And given that Benelux seems quite interesting from especially a startup ecosystem, so that's why we decided to start here. In particular, this event will be today's event where during the applications are open to already, let's say, a group of people that have an idea, they want to, have the occasion to further develop it, being supported from experts in the field, or also the single participants that, want to offer their expertise that they would like to eventually contribute to startups groups. And during the pre-event organization, there will be a matching between startups, or eventually even matching of people, participants that show to have similar backgrounds. It is something that will be supported by the organizing committee up to the, let's say, definition of the final teams that during today's event, they will have the possibility to discuss further, develop their business idea, be supported by experts in the fields, participate in webinars, and arrive to the second day to the final pitch competition, where they will present in front of our panel of experts their final startup ideas. Here, just a brief overview of the current, let's say, 2 days program that we foresee. As you could see, it's 1st to 2nd of May, so it's usually holidays around. So we also targeted these dates because maybe, especially for young professionals, they might have the possibility to attend, even if they have a parallel job. Rotterdam was identified as a big hub of the space community, but also from a perspective of interest from sponsors and industry. And we plan to have a very crowded agenda of the event. I will quickly go through the next slide to not take too much time. How to register, I included here in the slide the QR code to our Eventbrite events. So, but also if you look for the first Benelux startup competition, you will be able to find it. I also wanted to mention that we are still open for sponsorships and partnerships. There are different types of possibilities to contribute to participate to the event also as sponsors. Just some examples here. I think maybe Margarita, I will share with you the final presentation, so in case you can share it with the participants.
I can share it in the follow-up. Yes.
And just to conclude, indeed, here you have my contact in case you want to directly contact me and ask a specific question, or reach out in case you might be interested in knowing more, or eventually partnering, supporting the event different ways. And yeah, I don't know if I took longer than expected, but
everything is perfect, Alice. Thank you so much for the presentation and for delivering this opportunity to us. We will come back to you. And I will come back to the speakers also, but before I do that, I would like to introduce our last speaker, Mikae Gamka-Pankeo. He's a deep tech talent manager and the CEO of Skyport Space Hub. His company, Skyport Space Hub, is an innovative aerospace technology company, and it's based in Paris, France. Today, Mikael will present to us his activities and opportunities also, space opportunities regarding his initiative. Mikael, I will share your presentation. Just try to be short in 4 minutes because the time was not we don't have a lot of time. I will share with you, give me 1 moment, and I will share with you the presentation. Unfortunately, I don't have, for some reason, I don't have good connection from my side today. So please be patient. I
can proceed without the
It's okay. I can share, but it might be a bit slow. Okay. So can you see the presentation?
No, I cannot see it yet.
Now?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay. Good. Please, right. Mika, the floor is yours for the next 4 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes.
Right. Okay. Hi, everybody. This is my first time doing this. I've never been in a webinar and spoke before, so please pardon me, bear with me. So I'll be straight to the point. So I am the CEO of Skyport Space Hub, and today, thanks to Margarita, I could introduce the first NASA certified course in Europe, which we managed to bring through the EIT Deep Tech Talent. Actually, to answer the question of the director of Eurovia, where he's asking about how to bring the youths into space technology, I wanted to say that the slogan is make space cool again. You know, so actually our program right here that we brought from the NASA is actually a program that could make the younger population also that come into the space industry. So please, we'll go to the next slide.
Yes.
Yes.
Give me 1 moment because it's slow. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So actually, on the next slide is about what we do. Introduction to the Skyport. So what we do at Skyport is we are into vertiports, vertiports and drone taxis. We are actually revolutionizing urban aerial mobility. Right. So while leveraging satellite data to make it interoperability and to make it all fluid. So actually, at Skyport Space Hub, yes. So our mission actually is to make sure that we drive that we drive enough knowledge into urban area mobility by leveraging the Earth observation data. Please, next slide, please, so I can go very fast. So
you can continue talking because it's slow from my end. Yeah.
So, okay, so actually, we are bringing in the first NASA course to be certified in Europe. So actually, for my own this course actually got me to the United Nations Office of Outer Space Affairs. So, so what I want to say is, this is one of the first courses that could be certified in NASA, and it's good for everybody that has that's at the master level, PhD level, or trying to do a professional reconversion into deep tech. So that's actually my story, because I come from a different background. So I started following these NASA courses that actually got me into developing my own company right now and being an expert in sustainable lunar activities and being invited also in different conferences. So actually, to answer the question of the director of Eurovia, I think this is the path where that many youths maybe should be using, because this course actually is very short, and in a short space of time, you get to know deep tech, you get to know how to code, you get to know about AI, and then you get to have a certificate which is recognized in Europe, coming from 2 great institutions, European Institute of Technology, and also coming from NASA. So me coming from the minorities and representing the minorities, I would like to have help exactly from the NEREUS community and also from ESSA to help us distribute this course so that many people can get versed with deep tech and also change the ecosystem in Europe. Please go ahead, Margarita. Thank you. So, so actually the role of space observatories right here, it will be actually for us to help us bring in satellite data to alleviate or to manage well or to make urban life better as to what compared as to what it is right now. So it's about introducing Earth observation data into for example for Skyport, into our vertiports, in our sky drones, taxi drones, and also for air traffic management and for different other initiatives that will be available in the near future. I cannot dive deep because of time constraint, but everything will be on my presentation for future perusal. Okay, so the future of urban area mobility and space innovation. Actually, we are holding that here right now because we are the first in Europe to come up with urban aerial mobility and vertiports. We don't really have much competition, but this course right here for me, like I said again, this is the course that got me into this. And today we have a market valuation of nearly 9 million and different investors coming to us. So actually, this the future of the urban aerial mobility and space innovation is actually beginning for us and for the future entrepreneurs will be via this course if we manage to have it to everybody. Because actually, like I said again, if the younger people, the younger generation have this course, they will be much more excited to get into tech, because right now it's really kind of slow to get people interested into tech. Like go and do tech and do 3 years of school again, or maybe 4 years to get a master's, and then don't know if you actually have a job after that. But now with this urban area mobility, we'll be able to open new sectors, new job opportunities, and it's going to be a new whole economical ecosystem that will be coming up with, meaning that anybody that's already coming up with this course will be who has the certificate from this course will have one foot into that deep tech world, which is the future from now to tomorrow. Yeah. Okay, so like I said before, inclusion, diversity. So this course, like I said, for me, I represent the minorities, and I also subscribe to the DVERIS program in the EU Space Observer project. So actually, this course brings in inclusion and diversity into the deep tech space. So we want everybody to be able to have a hand in mind into the future of tomorrow, especially in Europe, to make Europe a different ecosystem in technology. So this course we're introducing it, and we want NEREUS and ESSA to help us distribute it, bring up maybe a new LMS, learning management system, or whatever we can do to collaborate for this course. So actually, I kind of went ahead. So it's a call to action to all the European networks and to the NEREUS network as well, to actually join us to make this a success and to make Europe a much more technologically advanced continent, because other continents like Asia are really advancing, especially in the field of urban area mobility, which has a very good capital valuation in the future. And I believe that we are still a little bit behind because we don't have all the knowledges and for this. So Skyport is actually pioneering in urban air mobility as of now, even if we can still get a small level right now, but we are among the first. And then this is the course that got us to today. So thank you, everybody. You have my presentation right there. And if you have any questions, I'll be available right now, or else you'll be able to get through me through LinkedIn or my email. I mean, Margarita, she's going to send everything to you. Sorry, I was a little bit fast, but this is my first time. I just have to explain everything. Yes.
Thank you, Mika, for the great presentation. Excellent. And we will have the opportunity to host you also in the future webinar, since you are really dive into different topics in the space sector.
Yes.
For now, and before we close the webinar, I would like to ask the audience, but also Antonio, Gregor, and Elena, how do they view these two space opportunities presented by Mika and Alice? And if it's something that you can promote to your colleagues and students and to your regions.
I don't know if
Well,
I. Sorry.
Please, Elena.
Elena.
I'm very sorry. No one was speaking, so I thought I will jump in. Yeah, I think that both opportunities are very nice, and for sure we can advertise them through our network of Euravia. I don't know if Elia is already on it, but I will for sure talk with our communication department and see for sure we can do something together, especially I mean, both of them, but especially the challenge that Alicia was talking about, because I participated myself in an hackathon when I was a master student back then about space, and it was very, very nice. So I think that that's a really good opportunity for students. Yes,
Right.
for sure.
Thank you. Thank you. Please, Elena.
Thank you very much.
Reach me by email if you want more details on how we can collaborate and see the different space opportunities that we have and that we are working on. And it'll be really good for us to connect with Eurovia, so maybe we can move on different aspects of technology which are really alarming right now, and which we could obviously advance on, and which is needed actually in the market right now, both in Europe.
Mika, I will send a follow-up to all participants about your presentations, but I will send also separate email to the speakers, so you have each other's contact details.
Right.
And please, Antonio.
Well, for me, it's a little bit tangential, but it's related more with the with the headquarters at Tenerife that has the ISC technology department, and I know they are involved in this kind of formation projects. So, but I will spread with the people at the ISC, because they have the Instituto de Astrofísica Canarias, born as only an astronomical institution, but in the last 10 years, he created the ISC Technology Division. Now is almost an independent section of the facility, and there is a lot of engineers, younger people that is involved in all that is related to astronomy, that has nothing to do with astronomers. That is, it seems more interesting for the young people than the astronomy itself. So I will spread it because there is a lot of interest. There is a lot of, I know this is a field with a lot of interest from the younger people here in Canary Islands. I know.
Thank you, Antonio.
Gregor,
Thank you very
last
much.
comment from your side?
Personally, I can spread this information among students, of course, but I think Euravia is a very good way for distribution among universities. We have Euravia in our university, and it's really powerful organization. So I think this is what I would recommend, is go on this track. I know they can do it, and I think this is the best way, even in the European level. So this is my opinion.
All right, thank you, Gregory. Thank you.
We have a comment from the audience from Greece, Eleftheria Panayota Christopoulou. She says, modern astrophysics is by its very nature interdisciplinary, so what we said before, and this is an opportunity for physics students as well. So she collaborates with the University of Patras, the physics department. So I mean, I think it's for you, most probably, Antonio. Physics and astrophysics are complementary.
Big data.
Big data, yes,
big data field.
Big
Now,
time.
we need big data experts in the astrophysics world. Now we have more data than ever, access to more observatories, catalogs, satellites, etc. than ever. And now the most demanded profile is the big data analysis profiler. So I think if you want to ensure you enter industrial physical world now, it's probably better to become an expert in big data analysis rather than an astrophysical profile.
Point taken. I would like to thank you all for preparing your great presentations. Thank you, Mika. Thank you, Antonio, Gregor, Alice, and Elena. It was quite refreshing, this session, I have to say, and quite new. So we could have a number 2 and continue the topic. Thanks to the audience for listening to the webinar. And the next, I will soon send you the follow-up of this webinar and the date also for the next one. It might be something for AI or space law. You have to check now with the speakers available. But we would be glad to welcome you again. Thank you one more time, and wish you a great day.
Thank you, Margarita. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.